Okay, here we are, Sunday, 2 o'clock. Today, I've decided to do the comb out of the Kathryn Grayson hairstyle. I will do my best to show you what we did last week. One second. So this is what we are emulating, given that the doll, down here, her hair is a bit longer in the back than what Kathryn had. And for whatever reason, this particular page came out really blurry, so I'm not going to be able to read much of it. If you go back to last week and watch that, you can actually, I wrote it all out in a separate format so that I could read what was going on. But here is the set as it stands. So from the top, we have a left part with rollers going to the right and to the left. And you can see those rollers here. And then all of the curls are just randomly placed. And then you can see in the front, this is to demonstrate the stand-up curls and the stand-up curls, which, judging for stand-up curls, I should have looked a little closer at this one, because realizing now that according to this, they are curled on base and toward the part, and not on base away from the part, as was usually done in most of the other sets. So it's going to be slightly different. I should have looked closer. That's okay. We'll still get the fullness on the top. So, shall we begin the boring part, which is pulling rollers and clips and hoping, well, her hair should be plenty dry. She doesn't have, this particular doll doesn't have a lot of hair left. We're not doing a lot of, we're not going to use a lot of heavy-duty styling products because this particular head is very, 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 very fragile, very fine, and doesn't, would not benefit from heavy-duty products. And that will, I hope we can show at least, you know, a translation of what this would be in a regular setting. So we're just going to pull all of these clips out and kind of comb through a little bit. It's not terribly exciting. We did all of these pin curls forward toward the face, as is recommended for all of the varied sets in the book, even though they're not meant to be perfectly spaced or placed. Still wanted to follow to a certain degree the rolling toward the face. So while I didn't necessarily make a center part here, definitely rolled each side wherever I felt like rolling it toward the face. I did take and stretch the crown just a little bit, and that wasn't necessarily recommended in this set, but at the same take, it also wasn't not recommended. Therefore, double negative, I'm good. Basically, it comes down to, I made an artistic choice, given the style and the fact that on this particular one, they don't give a lot of great clues to the back of the head, aside from just saying randomly placed pin curls, which of course with shorter hair means that I will be, as is evidenced here, that I used single prong clips to hold all of the hair in place. And given that this would be The haircut itself was actually meant to be a shorter hairstyle in the very nape. You're probably looking about half that length. If it was, if it were on the haircut that Kathryn Grayson had. So I'm just kind of going through and finger combing. Hair's pretty soft right now. And all I'm gonna do before I even come in with the brush or anything, and this is gonna be a pretty quick comb out. There's not a lot to this style, just so everybody's aware. We're going to use a little bit of, for shine and control, I'm using a little bit of the Indian Amla strengthening oil. I know it's always backwards. You can go back through my feed and see I posted at one point a list of all of the products that I might be using throughout the course of this particular series, and you can see what they are. So I worked it through my hand a little bit, and now I'm just kind of working it through the hair. So feel really wonderful if you had somebody do this for you. It's nice to have somebody play with your hair. I'm going to just wipe my hands off so I don't make so I can grip combs and brushes really. And because this hairstyle is meant to be a little bit more casual, I opted to only brush out using the mixed bristle nylon brush. And I'm just going to start combing through. Nothing, like, it's, because it's meant to be super casual, I don't have to worry about placing curls or making a particular style. A lot of these curls are kind of kicking up, which is kind of fun. Gives a little more natural look to the style, as if this was just natural curly hair rather than pin curled. So just kind of brushing through for what it's worth. Maybe see the size a little bit. So there's my 3 rows. Poor hair. This poor dear has been through a lot. This is her second retirement hairstyle. The first time I retired, well, I had opted to retire her a little while back, but it seems that this was the perfect head for this style, and she needed a little retouch, but there's not going to be too much else that's going to be done to her hair. Just brushing through. Not really, I'm not trying to fight much of anything, just sort of figuring out what the hair itself kind of wants to do. And I'm really enjoying this, like, kick and flipping kind of a thing, where it just kind of flips up into these little waves. Just continued brushing. I don't know if it's showing up on on the camera, but there are a lot of little broken hairs on this poor deer. She has seen a lot of action. So I'm just kind of lightly directing the hair. I'm not going terribly strong with it because she's definitely been through a lot. So just with this style, and especially if you had like super fine hair, it's really a lot about moving gently. I think I like what that's doing, so I'm going to just give it a quick spray with just a small amount of Style Fixer and just encourage it to not fall apart, because I do like what that's doing. It's fun. And then we'll just keep creating style that I want her to have, which is right now I'm just kind of futzing with the side. I'll see if I can show you what I'm doing. It's really just a matter of like deciding where you want the curls, where you want the fill, where you want to, and especially like these stand-up curls on this side. Just adjusting, arranging, making it sit in some fashion. And since I like what that's doing, I'm going to spray this side now. You know, just don't touch it for a minute. Just for a little bit. I don't know, for some reason my brain just went like, I don't know what, Nancy Reagan, which will either say how old I am or how weird I am, one or the other. Anyways, we're going to move on to the back, which is just a matter of some light arranging. Oh, poor dear, she's losing so much hair. Look at this brush. Look at all that hair. I told you, she's definitely served her time. Now, remembering that this particular haircut has more hair at the nape than would have had Kathryn Grayson. I believe they said about 1.25 inches, so it would have been, yeah, about half as long. So I'm using the curl to just kind of pick up the hair and encourage it to just kind of come in and fill in and be a little closer to what is referenced in the style, while also maybe grabbing and arranging in a mildly specific but not too specific pattern, so that you can get some sense of, you know, that there was work put in, but maybe not so much of like it has to be exactly perfect. I hope I wasn't just standing directly in front of that. I really try to show what it is that I'm doing. So I'm doing a lot of scooping with so coming in and scooping with the brush so that I can encourage the curls to go the direction that I want. So giving it a little love here. Put a little spray on the whole project here. I like what it did. Not too shabby, if I do say so myself. Tuck it up, tuck it in, adjust, arrange. Some stylists will actually take like a neck strip, a tissue strip, and pat over the hair to calm down flyaways. I'm okay with doing it by hand. There we go. This way I can make it look fairly even. I'm just kind of fluffing and arranging. So this is a really nice, simple style to create if your hair is a bit on the shorter side, and it's adjustable to whatever you're kind of looking for. So I'll just show. I have a feeling, and I can't tell because it's bad. So this picture, which is kind of hard to see, it almost appears as if her hair has been combed back on the sides, and I've opted to not do that. So I'm kind of going with the feeling of this, which is soft and playful, and less of the technical execution of it. But this is what we have. So if, say, I had done the pin curls back, I think I could have achieved a little bit more of that sweeping back, but since I decided to follow what they had said about doing the pin curls all towards the face, leaves me with, you know, slight options of going, oh, okay. I mean, I could possibly comb them back, but I think that this is okay. So as you can see, you get the height on the top from using the stand-up curls, even though looking back, I should have rolled everything toward the part rather than away from. I'm not sure what that would have done necessarily. It might look a little bit strange, but we have the height on the top, and then these just nice, fun waves and curls through the rest that you don't have to fuss with. You know, this is a pretty short one, but this is a very simple, style once it's set, to literally just use your bristle brush to brush out, and then just spray it with a little bit of hairspray so that it will stay where you want it, and she's done. So here we are. That pretty much covers what we did here today. Next week I haven't decided which star I'm going to do yet. It will more than likely be a heat set, since I'm trying to alternate between heat sets, curling irons, and wet sets with rollers and pin curls. So it will more than likely be a heat set, and since this was a good short-haired one, I will, I think, aim for a longer-haired doll to do something with styles that are either like, I think I have a couple that are still about shoulder length, which could be a really nice, just simple thing to do with the curling iron. I'll do my best to post Saturday before what star is going to be featured, so that if you are wanting to follow that particular lesson, then you can just tune in next Sunday. And with that, I suppose we will see you next week.